Details not to overlook for the Capricorn stellium in transit. We do not want to miss opportunities. Capricorn stellium hosting the personal planets. It's about a review of yourself, the self, and perspective of material security, in opposition to Cancer Jupiter retrograde, internalized emotional security. Emotional security. So we have emotional security versus material security. The material security includes infrastructure through persons, circumstances, resources, and status. Understand that. And among these things, with Virgo at the South Node, we can realize a lot to be scrutinized, a lot to be picked apart and judged as inefficient, lacking, imperfect, not enough, not quite there. And we have to go through these exercises because it's part of developing resilience. Resilience for what's ahead. And what's ahead is turbulence, inconsistency, constant change. The need to learn how to adjust and adapt. Air and fire is what's next. With air and fire being next, we have to look at the internal infrastructure of the self to be sure that that is truly where our grounding is at. You're not going to be able to find it anywhere else. And the speed is about to turn up. Don't be fooled by where we're currently at and thinking that this slow pace is going to continue, because it is going to accelerate. And you're going to need the grounding, the security, the stability within the self not to fall apart, not to abort mission, not to betray yourself, going astray, end up somewhere in contradiction. It needs to be understood right now. Concerning Capricorn infrastructure, Mars and Venus holds a significant contemplation. Venus with our relationship status, our finances, and whether or not we are in position or capacity to attract or create that which we desire. Is it accessible to us? Is it possible for us? Are we in the status to where it's a possibility? So looking over these things as part of your infrastructure of what gives you a sense of security in the material realm, in the physical sense. And Mars having a lot to do with whether or not you're able to manifest certain patterns of works, processes, systematic operations, programs that are running in your life, what you have going on that holds it all together, that serves as the pillars, the trust, the bearers of the pressure, of the weight, of all of the burden of making it happen. What are those components in person and in things? What are the components in your life that gives you security? Identify it. What persons in your life are part of the infrastructure of your security? What patterns and systems in operation that you must do every day if you are to be secure? Who are the people that you have to have access to, who you have to be in good standing with, who you have to take care of and they take care of you if you are to be secure? Who are they? And so likewise, to reflect on this concerning our emotional needs and vulnerabilities. Cancer, Jupiter expansion. Who are those who would cry for us if we suffered? Who are those who would get angry for us if there was some injustice? That is who is most important in your life. Who would cry for you if you suffered? Who would get angry for you if you fell to injustice? Who would advocate for you if you were not in position to advocate for yourself? Who would warn you, advise you, teach you, remind you of what's in your best interest? Who influences you to remember and consider what is righteousness in all of your ways? Who keeps you incited at doing the right thing because in memory of so-and-so, it encourages me to always do the right thing? Who are they in your life? Who's the ones in your life where when you check in, you recalibrate your moral compass? This used to be the big mamas in the community, the grandfathers, the uncles, the teachers, gym coach. Whatever the case may be, they're in your life, and you should not forget their value. They are part of how you create, maintain, and sustain a sense of security emotionally and in the physical as well. Capricorn, Cancer, axis. When we look at this in the houses, 4th house and 10th house, you're taking a consideration in who is part of what maintains your status. Who is part of what maintains your career trajectory, your notoriety, your access to networking opportunities? Who is part of your ability to fulfill all of your duties and responsibilities? Who keeps you in position of competence in your career? It's time to take count of where the value is at in people. Who are the valuable people in your life? And it's not just to remember so that you can take count of what benefits you, but to remember the order. That you must take care of those who take care of you. You must be true to those who are true to you. You have to remember those who remember you. You have to go out of your way and inconvenience yourself for those who go out of their way and inconvenience themselves for you. It's about taking count of who is in your life that you need to always be in position to inconvenience yourself for. Who are the people in your life that deserves, needs, and requires you to inconvenience yourself for them? If you don't have these people in your life, you're selfish. It's that simple. You're fucking selfish. You're self-centered. Get your fucking head checked. Who checks on you? Do you check on them? Who prays for you? Do you pray for them? Who argues for you? Do you argue for them? Who defends your name? Do you defend their name? Who lifts you up? Do you lift them up? Who covers you? Do you cover them? It's time to stop being a piece of shit before we go forward. You receive, but you don't give. Assumption of entitlement to how other people bless you. Assumption of entitlement to how other people inconvenience themselves to show up for you, to be present with you, to demonstrate care and advocacy to you, but you're too fucking selfish to manifest the same. Piece of shit. Piece of fucking shit. These are things we need to think about and remember today, now, and never forget. Because as time speeds up, we have to remember where the value is at in our life. And the value is not always something that you fucking purchase, something that you have a receipt for, something that you paid money for. Have we not learned that lesson? I'm talking about the invaluable things in your life, the invaluable people in your life. The invaluable things are usually systematic processes in your day that makes it all happen. Where you hit the repeat every day to make it happen. There's that time every day where you have to sit and decompress and meditate, connect with yourself, connect with source. That's sacred. It's invaluable. You cannot sacrifice that. You cannot trade that. You cannot compromise that. You have to know the value of the little details in your life. Going to the gym every day. Working out. Not making excuses. It's deciding what is fixed in your life as infrastructure. Because what is fixing your life is infrastructure. Everything else has to revolve around that, not it around the other things. Now is the time through the Capricorn stellium to clarify what is the infrastructure that is fixed, must be there, and mathematically we must respect the integrity of it as part of infrastructure and system and never negotiate it. Never compromise it. Never change it. So it's taking account of that. Part of that infrastructure might be to show up to sit for 20 minutes with your grandmother, just listening to her stories. You stop somewhere on the way in from work to see so-and-so, and you know, it makes their heart light. It makes it feel like somebody's thinking about them. You can't overlook that. Do you know how many blessings are coming from that? How much mercy comes down from that? When you get up in the morning and the first thing you do is that you pray, or, you know, it's a certain time of day where you stop and you think about everybody. Who's out there who needs my call? Who's out there that needs me to just come and show up for them? I didn't hear from so-and-so in a while. These are parts of the infrastructure that we cannot change about ourselves. What are the things, what are the habits, the practices? What have you systematized in your life that absolutely must not change? Maybe you take a bath on Saturday nights and you know what I mean? You nurture yourself for something. I don't know. You put, fragrances and all these different things, and you listen to your favorite song. Taking account of what carries value that is not to be challenged in your life. You have to know what is it in your life that absolutely must never move, never change, never stop, ever, for nothing. Are you clear about what those things are? And after you have done that, and let me add this, a time of day where you read. A time of day where you read. Anyway, so the same with persons. The same with persons. People are also part of the infrastructure of your life. We have to reflect and take account in a spirit of gratitude to put every person on the scale and consider the value that comes with every person in your life. Because under no circumstances must you betray the soul contract that comes with every person. If that soul contract includes this person giving you an encouraging word, always having something positive to say, loving you and picking you up, defending you, always having your back, concerned about whether or not you ate today, or if you have this or if you lack that. If you went silent for 3 days, this person, these people, or this person is guaranteed to call you and check on you. I haven't heard from you. You good? I'm just making sure you're alive. Someone who influences you to be better. And we don't always get influence in ways that feels positive, but yet it's constructive. That too is a valuable person. Perhaps it's somebody who has a fatherly approach in your life, or a mentor's approach in your life, an elderly's approach. They manifest Saturn in your life, or they manifest Pluto in your life. These are valuable persons, because even though their personality may come with burden, they still transfer to you opportunity of development, construction, transformation, strength, scrutiny, integrity, self-awareness and self-criticism, disillusionment. There's that person in your life who may never be impressed by what you do, keeping you in the spirit of disillusionment about your accomplishments or about your status, and how that truly grounds you to real power in yourself and resilience. The person in your life who carries spiritual authority that you can't seem to mount. They're ahead of you in life in areas that makes you feel as if you need to do something to become stronger, to become competent, and to become qualified. That's a valuable person in your life. You can't take value by surrounding yourself by all people that make you feel giddy and butterflies inside, that gives you compliments all the time, or never challenges you. What the fuck is that? Do you know how to consider value in your life? Who is really valuable in your life? Do you know how valuable it is to have a person in your life that reminds you of the truth, that keeps you in sight in perspective of disillusionment and wisdom, that keeps you in the spirit of self-conviction, that keeps you in the spirit of admonition, self-correcting, self-governing, that expands your self-awareness, that clarifies what's wrong, not always what's right? Do we know how to assess value in people in our life, circumstances in our life? Maybe it's a burden for you to get off work and you go to that boxing gym after work. Some days you don't feel like pulling up in there, but you're aligning yourself with direct transfer of Saturn and Pluto energy to incorporate into the spirit because you show up at the boxing gym. And although you're absorbing the Saturn and Pluto energy from the boxing gym, it still transcends in every area of your life as a faculty. Where's the value in your life in the patterns of your day, the operations of your day, the infrastructure of your life that upholds it and makes it go, and the people, the emotional input and output, the even exchange, reciprocity? Are you one to reciprocate? Or are you just a selfish bastard? Now, also, what are the sustainable intentions right now concerning this axis? What are the sustainable intentions? What infrastructure components may require modification, adjustment, reconsideration? And this is why I'm pairing with this observation value, the determination of value, the assignment of value to components in your life that upholds the value in your life or the efficiency in your life. That which gives resistance to the burdens in life. That which gives resistance to the disappointments in life. The unexpected curveballs. Losses, challenges, setbacks. What fortifies you? Simultaneously, as we had the Cazimi with Venus and Mars, it just so happens, following right behind that or along with that, we have the Virgo moon South Node. And what is this? All of my years in construction, whenever there is something of infrastructure, Capricorn, that has any kind of new feature or modification, it has to be load tested if it's part of infrastructure. It has to be load tested. The Cazimi took place in Capricorn, algorithm of infrastructure. Therefore, the infrastructure of these personal planets, the polarization of self, Mars and Venus, it had to be load tested because it's part of infrastructure, this renewal. You put a new weld, it has to be load tested. You take out a beam and you replace the beam, a bearer, bar, or truss. You have to load test the components of infrastructure. And so the South Node Moon lunar transit that we've been going through for the past 2.5 days, that was a load test. It went consistent with the Venus and Mars Cazimi. A load test. After all, at the South Node Virgo, that's where the burden is coming from. By design, our ability to maintain efficiency, our ability to answer what we scrutinize in our life, our ability to give ourselves peace and rest about the imperfections in our life, to maintain. Our capacity to manifest quality control in our life. The faith that we have in our power of refinement. The South Node Virgo includes, especially in every lunar phase, past life lessons of last year's Virgo Mars transit, very challenging, that came after the most challenging Black Moon Lilith Virgo transit, 9 months. Virgo is the placement and house where you've had to go through hell and high water to find peace with it, satisfaction and acceptance. You've been going through it since 2024 at that Virgo placement to get it right, to find peace with it, to find acceptance with it, to let go of over scrutinizing it, to heal yourself from the negative self-talk and beating yourself up and cursing yourself out over its condition, that house of Virgo in your chart. That's the burden. It has been the burden. So the burden had to be activated consistent with Venus and Mars Cazimi. If Venus and Mars is to be rebirthed or renewed in Capricorn, algorithm of infrastructure, it has to be capable of bearing the burden, of enduring the resistance, the challenges, the weather, the inconsistencies, the imperfections of that Virgo placement. Because this is not the last season where you're going to have challenges there. We're going into uncharted territory, and you're going to have to take some hits. You're going to have to weather the storms. And you have to find your way out of the scrutiny that assumes perfection in the eyes of others. To be faultless in the eyes of others. To have it all together. Can you show up without having it all together? Can you be confident without having it all together? Can you be authentic without having it all together? Can you show up as you are without having it all together? This naturally opposes number 7, Pisces, North Node. How's your faith? How is your faith? Is your conscience clear? Have you done all you can do? Were you responsible? Were you accountable? Have you healed the need for escapism? Addictions. Coping mechanisms that are not healthy. The indulgence in empty calories. Getting lost in delusions that are not grounded by Saturn or Capricorn. And blaming the consequences of popping that bubble on whoever helped you to fulfill that delusion. There are things to consider.